The New York Giants are not going to just beat the Philadelphia Eagles. The New York Giants are going to the Super Bowl, Maggie.
Stop it.
They are
Get out of here.
Exactly like the 2017 team that beat the undefeated Patriots. It's almost eerie. They are exactly like them.
In what way? What Hall of Famers are on this team like there were Hall of Famers on that 07 team?
Okay. That 07 team is the most unlikely team to go to the Super Bowl in our century. They shouldn't have made. They got lucky to get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
They were road playoff teams. They won 3 games in the NFC playoffs to get through the Super Bowl. Do you know in the divisional round who they played? You probably remember this game. It was Tony Romo who had gone to Cabo.
It was, yes.
Guess what the spread was? Guess what the spread was?
Dallas by 6.5?
7.5. Guess what the spread is this weekend?
Oh.
7.5.
That's not the reason.
It feels exactly like that. No, we didn't know that was.
The Giants aren't playing Dallas. They're playing your Philadelphia Eagles. That's a big difference.
What's the difference? Nobody saw that Giants team coming. This is exactly the same. And you say all these Hall of Famers, no one thought those players were who they were.
Strahan? No one knew about Michael Strahan.
Strahan was 100 years old and accomplished. I love Strahan, but he was the one super accomplished guy. But basically, we didn't know who these guys were. Shockey was really good, too. And I don't even think Shockey was that important to the team. Maybe that the current Giants team has Kayvon Thibodeau. Maybe Dexter Lawrence. Those guys could be all-time players. Maybe Adoree Jackson after last week, the cornerback, could be an all-time player. I'm telling you, Dexter Lawrence is really good. Those guys on the Giants were nobody until that year. And the other thing, Eli Manning was an interception machine until that point of his career. He was nothing. Yeah. He was beleaguered. He was not respected by anybody, much like the current Giants quarterback, Daniel Jones, who looks, acts, and doesn't exactly play. He is Eli Manning. He's Eli Manning all over again. A guy who's cleaned it up at the right time, although he can run, unlike Eli. And there's just so many reasons this is a bad matchup. Starting with the Eagles are great against the pass.
Yeah.
They are not good against the run. So if the Giants control the ball with Daniel Jones and Saquon running, the Eagles have no room for error on offense, and we just don't know if Jalen Hurts and right tackle Lane Johnson are healthy. So there's so many things that are lining up.
To play. You played a
healthy
Giants
enough
team.
To play.
Okay, when the Giants were playing really well, they got off to a 7-1 start, right? You would say that would be when they were basically playing their best. I know they looked really good against Minnesota. We all know Minnesota was a fraudulent 13-win team. It never added up how they got to all those wins.
Yep.
Okay.
I agree with all that.
At the time when the Giants were peaking and when the Eagles were peaking, the Eagles beat the Giants 48-22. It wasn't even close, and that's when the Giants were playing very, very well, just like now. And the Eagles beat them handily.
They didn't have Dexter Lawrence. They didn't have Adoree Jackson. They didn't have Xavier McKinney. It was a completely beat-up Giants defense, and the Eagles were 100% healthy, and that's the exact opposite case now. We just don't know if Jalen Hurts is going to be full 100% Jalen Hurts. The Giants didn't have their defense that game. So, of course, they let up 48 points. It doesn't mean anything. And you know, Maggie, you know from experience, a third game against a divisional team is super dangerous.
Okay, but I think there's a wrinkle in your third game against a divisional team because the Giants didn't have their starters playing in Week 18. So you didn't actually play like Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, all those guys sat in the Week 18 game. Yes, the Eagles played their starters because they were going after the number 1 overall pick. It's not the same because key components of the team was missing, I think. So I think you could throw that out. You're going to beat them a third time. I mean, also, here's the thing. You have a more talented roster than the Giants.
I don't even know what that means. It's the NFL in 2023. This talented roster. Last year, it was the Rams against the Bengals. There's no way the Bengals had the most talented roster in the NFL to make and almost beat the Rams.
Well, as you said, we still don't know how the Bengals beat the Chiefs. Well, we're never going to know what happened in that second half. It was like the vortex.
And the Eagles' talent, especially on defense, is built to stop the pass. They have all these superstar cornerbacks. Darius Slay, James Bradbury, thank you, Giants. C.J. Gardner-Johnson. They have great pass rushers. They're 16th in the NFL against the run. The middle of the defense is not their star power. So there is a chance that the Giants can sort of avoid some of that talent.
Okay, but you also the Giants also, as a defense, can get run on, which is something that Jalen Hurts does really well, that Miles Sanders does well. Boston Scott is known as a giant killer. And that's the thing. Like, you think that the Giants are going to go on these long, sustained drives. I'm assuming that's what you're getting at with the run game.
That's a key to the upside, exactly. The long, sustained drives.
So can Philly. It's not like you guys are a home run or a strikeout kind of offense. That's not right.
We've had a lot of big plays from Jalen Hurts to A.J. Brown, long plays.
Those are called explosives. Those are awesome. They're not reckless.
You're right. Jalen Hurts can move the chains, but I saw him in his last game he played. It looked sad. It looked like a facsimile of Jalen Hurts. I don't know if he's going to be able to run. Whereas Daniel Jones is going to take off 20 times in this game.
Okay, I'm going to say something that you would say to me.
Yes.
What's the spread on this game?
7.5.
That's the second highest of the weekend.
Yes.
The only bigger one is Kansas City and Jacksonville.
Okay.
So why wouldn't we be talking about the most likely upset is going to be Dallas over San Francisco or the Cincinnati Bengals over the Bills, which, by the way, you want to talk about you're not feeling great about your team. Step aside. My Buffalo Bills almost lost to the Miami Dolphins with Skylar Thompson at home. I really don't want to talk right now about how nervous you are about the number 1 overall seed.
I'm not even nervous because I've played this game out of my head 50 times this week. I see the Giants controlling the ball. That means there's no margin for error for the Eagles offense.